Hey, what is going on, guys? It's DK. Back at you with another video here to bring in the Sunday Night Football Showdown slate between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Baltimore Ravens. And man, I am excited for this one. This should be one of the best games of the year. It's a high total. We got two high-powered offenses, two top quarterbacks in this league. Again, super excited to break this one down. But if you guys are new to the channel, welcome. My name is DK. I make daily videos as well as live stream for NFL and NBA slates on Draftkings. If you're unable to watch these videos, I also upload an Apple podcast. I'll have a link down below. It's called the DKDFS Show. If you're interested in signing up for premium content, often at patreon.com, we cover every single Showdown slate, all the main slates, that being in the NFL package. Also offer an esports package as well as an NBA package, which again, preseason right around the corner, only a couple weeks away. I do want to thank today's sponsor, Prize Picks. So if you guys are not familiar with Prize Picks, there's a couple different ways you can play. The first way is the original way where you just take over, under, and straight up fantasy points. Right now, for Sunday night's game, they have 10 players posted. They might post a couple more, maybe tomorrow. But hey, you can take over, under, on fantasy points. Or if you feel better about it, you can go over to single stat and go, over, under, and passing yards, rushing yards. Again, ton of different options to play. You can also mix and match sports as well. So if you guys want to try it out, you can sign up using the code DKDFS. DKDFS, all one word, link down below. You get a 100% match up to $100. Basically, you deposit using my code, $100. You get a free $100 to play with. And finally, I want to thank all of you guys for your continued support on this YouTube channel, on Twitter, even on TikTok. Just created that. Make sure to follow me on TikTok, guys. Also linked down below. If you do enjoy all this content, if you could, hit that like button. Try to aim for 100 likes on this one. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you don't upload videos and when I'm live. I'll be live twice tomorrow for the main slate as well as this Sunday Night Football Showdown slate. All right, so before we get into players and the prices for this one, let's look back on up here from Monday's Showdown slates. Monday, that was a great game. Giants and Washington football team was a great game. Now, in GPPs, I was a little bit short of the cash, but what I was hammering home on Patreon was I wanted to play both quarterbacks. I wanted to play Sterling Shepard, and I want to play one of either De'Ami Brown or J.D. McKissic. Those are my two favorite values. I want De'Ami Brown. Again, as you guys saw, it was J.D. McKissic that had the really big game. So if I made two lineups, definitely would add J.D. McKissic as my other value play. And we had still some big winners over on Patreon. Let's see, Gabe taking $121 into $829, nice 8x. Or top $20 into like $300. And then Wyatt with a big win here, $44 into $1,200. So we had some big wins on these shows. So congrats to all of you guys. And hopefully we can keep it going for this Sunday Night Football Showdown slate. Okay, so going over the Vegas odds really quick. Let's see where we're at here. So it's a 54.5 over under, definitely a higher total game, and Kansas City are 4-point favorites. So what we'll do is we'll start off with the Kansas City side, go team by team, and then go from there. So starting off on Kansas City first, let's take a look at the snap counts here for each of the Kansas City Chiefs in their first game. So running back, Clyde Edwards-Helaire played about 3/4 of the game, 72%. Darrell Williams played 22%, and Jerick McKinnon played 4 snaps, only 6% of the snaps. At wide receiver, Tyreek Hill, 88% of the snaps. Demarcus Robinson, 74%. McCole Hardman, 69%. And kind of surprising, Byron Pringle only played 17%. Would have thought he would have played a little bit more. At tight end, Kelsey, no surprise here, 85% of the snaps. They did use 3 other tight ends, in Blake Bell, Noah Gray, and Fortson. 29% for Bell and 11% for the other 2 tight ends. So we'll start with Mahomes at 12.6. Obviously, one of the safest options on this Showdown slate. It's Patrick Mahomes, right? This is a super high over-under game. We know the upside Mahomes brings. He does have a little bit of rushing upside as well. So don't think I need to spend a ton of time on Patrick Mahomes and tell you he's a good play because, yeah, he is a good play. Now we have Tyreek Hill at 10.6, Travis Kelce at 10.4. Both guys have a ton of upside. I will say, if I had to pick between the two for upside, it's probably Hill has a little more upside than Kelce. I would say Kelce probably has a little bit of a higher floor, though, than Tyreek Hill. I mean, both guys had a massive week 1, 25 fantasy points for Kelce and 40 for Tyreek Hill. So if we're shooting for that upside, it's probably Hill. If you're going for more of the safer play, it's probably Kelsey. But you can't go wrong with either of these top options for Kansas City, and you can definitely still play them both. It's going to be a little bit tricky in this one, but it's still viable to play both the top options here for Kansas City. Now, EDWARDS-HELAIRE, I think, goes a little bit lower owned at 7.4 because the price point, he's kind of just in a weird price range, right? In the mid-range in the show, and so it's a little bit difficult to prioritize some guys. So, the positive here with EDWARDS-HELAIRE is he was still kind of their bell cow back. Played about 3/4 of the game. He is involved in the pass game with 3 catches and 3 targets. The issue is Kansas City is not really a run-first team. Obviously, they like airing it out. And whenever they get in the red zone, too, they like running the trick plays. So it's like you could see a lot more EDWARDS-HELAIRE, touchdowns if they played more traditional. But when they get close, like in the red zone, they'll do those like passes to the offensive lineman. They love running the trick plays. So, that's the downside of EDWARDS-HELAIRE. But as I said, I think he'll be a little bit lower on for the price point. I think he's a good kind of contrarian play on the Showdown slate. And then you have 2 value plays I think are both relatively safe in Mecole Hardman to Demarcus Robinson. Hardman at 4.6 is technically their number 2 receiver, only had 3 catches on 3 targets. But both him and Demarcus Robinson played a majority of the game. 1 catch and 2 targets for Demarcus Robinson. Again, like I said, number 2, number 3 on the depth chart. Should get somewhere in that 60 to 70% range of the snaps. And obviously they got Patrick Mahomes at quarterback, which does give them a little bit of upside, and they're relatively cheap. So both Hardman and Demarcus Robinson firmly in play here. Both kickers are in play too. High total game. Both are good kickers, Harrison Buckner and then Tucker on the other side. So we saw both kickers were in the winning lineup in GPPs last slate. So kickers have upside, right? Definitely possible one of these guys are in the winning GPP lineup. So yeah, kickers, as I always say, are very, very safe. Now the defenses, not really considering them in this Showdown slate. You're probably going to need a defensive touchdown, something weird like that for them to pay off the salary with, the total pushing 55. So not a ton of interest in either defense. Darrell Williams, more of a large field tournament play. Did play about 1/4 of the game. Only had 1 carry for 4 yards. Again, hard to feel super confident about that. Byron Pringle, I could see his snaps going up a little bit. Again, I was a little surprised he only played 17% of the snaps. He is a guy that does have some big play upside. We saw a couple big games from him last year, so a little bit interested in Byron Pringle, right? He's cheap, so it's a risky play based on what we saw for snaps last game, but I think there's a chance that those could go up a little bit. So a little bit of interest in Byron Pringle. And then everyone else are just large field tournament plays, right? You have backup tight end Blake Bell had 1 catch last week. Sure, right? You can catch a touchdown. It's honestly, or like anything is possible, really. Again, Noah Gray is like their 3rd string tight end rookie. He's a good pass catching tight end. You have Jerick McKinnon that only played 4 snaps. Maybe there's a chance he plays a little bit more. He's a good receiving back. So like there are a couple other viable options, but they're just really large field tournament plays for me. And moving on to Baltimore, let's quickly take a look at the snap counts here for the Baltimore Ravens. Now, for some reason they don't have Tyson Williams in here, but he was the guy that got the most snaps, played about half the game. Trenton Cannon, who's no longer on the team, played 13%. Latavius Murray, 31%. They also called up Devonta Freeman, so they're going to have 3 available backs. And I think all 3 will get some touches, but mainly probably Tyson Williams, Latavius Murray will be the guys getting a majority of the work. A wide receiver, so Hollywood Brown played about 70% of snaps. He's a little bit banged up. Expect him to play, though. He did practice on Friday. Sammy Watkins, revenge game narrative. He played 82% of the snaps. Hey, he looked good. I'll give it to him. Sammy Watkins looked good last game. And you have Duvernay a little bit banged up as well, paid about 57% of the snaps. If Duvernay can't go, then a guy like Prochet becomes a viable punt play. We'll talk about that. And at tight end, Mark Andrews played 81% of the snaps. Tomlinson, their blocking tight end, played 28%. And Oliver played 7% of snaps. He did have that 1 red zone target. Oh, that would have been great if he would have caught that. But let's start off with the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson, same thing really I'll say about Patrick Mahomes. I don't think we're going to spend a ton of time here. He's a great play. He has a ton of rushing upside. Almost had 100 yards on the ground last game. This is going to be a high-scoring game. Baltimore will probably be playing from behind in this one. So really, really do like Lamar. Again, really like Patrick Mahomes. Could you get away with fading one of these guys? Yeah, you can. It's just, again, you're not going to feel great about fading either quarterback on this Showdown slate. Now, Hollywood Brown at 9K, again, he's a little bit banged up. I expect him to go, though. We know he's got the big play upside. A little bit more of a GPP-only play, though, for me. Right, I think you got guys like with higher floor, those Chiefs guys, but Hollywood Brown definitely viable for tournaments. Now, Sammy Watkins in revenge game narrative, fine contrarian play. I don't love the price in him, but he did have 8 targets last game. Again, if you're into the revenge game narrative, sure. You have Tyson Williams at 6'8", again, should be kind of a 3-headed monster. Him, Latavius, Devonta Freeman, with probably Williams and Murray getting a majority of the work. Now, Tyson Williams, he looked like the better back. I think he's a little more explosive. And he did have 3 catches and 4 targets. It's just the price point, a little bit hard for me to prioritize him, right? In a backfield that you're probably going to get, you're at least going to have, 2 guys playing a lot, possibly a third in there too. So that's really the downside there with Tyson Williams. Mark Andrews at 6'2" feels a little bit too cheap, right? Yes, he didn't have the best game last game, only 3 catches and 5 targets, but like he was 9K, now he's 6'2". The Ravens are probably going to be playing from behind this one. I think that's a misprice in DraftKings part. I think Mark Andrews looks like a really solid play in the mid-range. Again, Latavius Murray, kind of the same thing I'll say about Tyson Williams. It's just hard to really prioritize these Baltimore backs. If you play one of these guys, you're probably gonna need a touchdown. And again, if 3 guys are gonna be splitting the work, it's hard to prioritize them. Tucker, same thing I'll say about Buckner. Very safe play. High total game. If they get 1 or 2 field goals, there's a decent chance one of these kickers can be in the winning lineup. Same thing I'll say about the defenses. Hard to prioritize these guys. I don't really like targeting defenses against Patrick Mahomes. Duvernay is one piece of news to keep an eye on. He's limited. If he goes, I think he's a fine punt play, right? He played over half the game. If he can't go, then it's going to be Prochet, who's going to fill in as the number 3 wide receiver role, and he would be a viable punt at the flat min $200. Devonta Freeman, I mean, I do think he gets a little bit of work, so he's only $400, worth a look in GPPs. Obviously, we don't know the extent of the workload he's going to get, but Baltimore, they like running a committee backfield. So maybe we get like a few carries for Devonta Freeman, which does make him viable in large field tournaments. And then I'll mention Oliver again. He was great in the preseason, a good receiving tight end. There's no Nick Boyle. So when they do run 2 tight end sets more around the goal line, he'll probably have a couple of opportunities, but he barely played last game. So again, large field tournament play. And yeah, that's really it for the breakdown, guys. So if you guys have been enjoying the content so far, I would really appreciate if you'd hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you don't upload videos and live. I'll be doing 2 live streams tomorrow. Make sure to check out both guys, main slate as well as the Sunday Night Football show on slate. Thanks again. Have a great night, and I'll see you all tomorrow in the live streams.